Well, welcome back everyone to Kitchen Table TCG. Today we're going to do an Arcane Rising market update. Let me just show for myself a little bit. If you are a patron, you get access to a collection tracker that uses all the data from these videos. I do these videos every day. You get all the data from these videos as part of a collection tracker where you can kind of label your collection and it tells you the total value of your collection based on my videos. We've got it all set up for Monarch. We're getting ready for Monarch Unlimited. It's ready to go. It's good to go. It's great. It's been a lot of fun to use, and we're working on some other features for it as well. So that's the collection tracker. And then I love to highlight my friend Mitch over at Midtown Merchant. Mitch has given the channel a discount code. It's it's Be Kind, and it will save you $5 off your order of $50 or more, your first order. And then if you're a patron, you also get a 10% off discount code every month. Mitch has the best prices on singles as a single store. He's also just a really good guy and a really great member of our community. And then if you are going to be buying cards and you want to buy them on TCG Player, I do have an affiliate link in my description as well that would help me out, and it doesn't save you money, unfortunately. So, all right, let's talk about this Arcane Rising booster box. TCG Player, you're sitting at 98. On eBay, you're at like 93. I think sometimes Channel Fireball updates their stock too. So just keep a lookout. If you're looking to buy boxes, make sure you're shopping around. Make sure you're really looking for the best possible price. But let's look at this kind of 90. What did I put it at this week? This is the right one, right? I think I put it at 92 from eBay. Let's look at this $92 and see if we can hit that EV if we open a box. That's kind of what we're looking at. So the Fable right now is sitting at around 600. I'll show you why. There's a couple of sold listings. This one did not have a great description. I have Ophidia Unlimited. Boom, that's it. No Flesh and Blood, no Arcane Rising. The description on that one, I didn't actually even read the description, but it wasn't very, the search terms probably didn't pick it up very much. So there was two other ones that sold this week at 620 and 640, even up to this one in Europe that was in euros. Another one for 600. I think that was actually last week. But so I kind of put it at 600 just because there was one that sold for low, but you know, it kind of, the description wasn't great. So I put it at 600 this week, which is down from last week, which kind of makes sense with Monarch coming out. Everyone's money is kind of moving that way. So that's the eye this week at 600. And then as we move on and we look at the Legendaries, you can see a lot of movement downwards on these as well. Only about 5%, nothing huge. And actually some of them are slightly up. So Teklo Foundry Heart being that one that had, the sold listings were more in the 105 versus 100 from last week. Skullbone Crosswrap at 100. That one lost some value this week. Grasp the Arcanite at 120. Stormstriders at 100. And Arcanite Skullcap at 210. So some of these, like if you look on eBay, you'll see sold listings at 100. You'll see sold listings at 110. You'll see they're kind of all over the place. So I try to take like the average of those and see what's on TCG Player 2 and shop around. Make sure you're patient. Don't just snap by them. There's plenty of these cards in the marketplace. Don't just snap by. Make sure you're comfortable with the prices that you're purchasing them at. All in all, though, down about 5% from last week. Your average Legendary is sitting at $127. I usually have this a little bit bigger for you. I'm sorry. About $127. Let's move on to the Majestic Rainbow Foils. It's going to be an interesting topic here today. The rainbow foil cards seem to be down, whereas the non-foil cards seem to be up, kind of overall. And I'm wondering if that's not because more players are coming into the game, buying these blitz decks, and then maybe they're looking for some cards to upgrade. Maybe they're looking to try out a new class, and they don't want to spend the money on the rainbow foil. So your rainbow foil Majestics are down a little bit. Everything's just kind of down a little bit on the board. Art of War down the most, from 70 to 56. Your average then is sitting at $28.78. You can see that that's just a downwards trend right there. We've had 4 weeks in a row of downwards attitude on those. I don't know. Let's look at the non-foils, because I think comparing these is kind of important. The non-foils are actually up. Big one being Command and Conquer, which tells me that these are players that are buying cards that are trying to fill out decks and kind of things like that. But if you notice, like Command and Conquer, the rainbow foil was not up. So I think this is more due to new players entering the fold, which is probably good. That's probably a really good thing for the market and for the game as a whole. So we're up 8%. Teklo Core also up a little bit. Red in the Ledger down a little bit. Arcanite Ascendancy is kind of the same. The rest of them are kind of similar. Sonic Boom is actually up. But Command and Conquer being the big one that is moving this percentage up 8%. Now let's get into the super rares, and this is where this really becomes true. No real changes in the rainbow foil versions, and in fact, some of them are down a little bit, some of them are up. The kind of balancing act is actually exactly the same, which is kind of funny. Just kind of how it works. Some cards went up, some cards went down. Your average is still about 393 for those, so no huge changes there. But now let's look at the non-foils, and we're up 33%. And I really double checked these numbers because it really surprised me, honestly. I thought maybe I had been doing something wrong the last couple weeks and blah, blah, blah. It really surprised me. These are really swingy. But some big ones like Spark of Genius, some like Knock the Death Whistle, really, for some reason, are super dry in the market this week. I'm not sure what to say about it. I just double checked and triple checked all the work that I do. And so if my work is wrong, it's at least wrong consistently. And they're still up 33% according to my work. So I don't really know what to say. Again, maybe there's just not as many of these on the market because they're not worth as much money. So people don't take the time to sell them. And then new players come in and they need the cards for the decks. And so they dry up. And so now we'll start seeing more people as the cards kind of go up in value. I don't know, $2.72 still isn't super expensive. I'm not sure how many sellers that will bring into the fold, but we're up 33% on the non-foil supers. I mean, even things like Forked Lightning, Lesson in Lava, Tome of the Aether Wind, that one's actually down. Tome of the Arknight, where last week you could pick these up, when I ran my numbers at least, you could pick these up for $1.50, $1.50. This week are now costing you $2.50 to $2. It's just up a little bit. So it's not huge money-wise, monetarily, it's not huge, but percentage-wise, it's actually up quite a bit. And again, I think that's because more players are coming, because you're not seeing that in the rainbow foil world. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, just remember on the rares, I use TCG low. So all in all, we're down 5%. This is now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're always down. So sellers are still lowering their prices all the time on rainbow foil rares. So you're at an average around $1. The rare, not really much to talk about. Average is about 17 cents. They're kind of up and down, just depends on the day. All right, let's go ahead and talk about, I guess we'll hit the common rainbow foils. There is some value in these commons. This is why we talk about them. I mean, $1.50, whatever, in some of these equipment slots. All in all, we're down 3%. Nothing really hugely to talk about. Let's talk about the EV, though. In each box, you're going to get yourself around 42 rares. You're going to get 4 foil rares, 4 super rares, 1 foil super rare, 2 Majestics, and then every 4 boxes, so like every case will have a foil Majestic, and then every case should have a Legendary. And then your chance at the Fable stays about 1 in 40. So that means if you were to open 40 boxes, on average, your boxes would have a value of around $114.36. If you just open one box, right, you're just like, I'm just going to open one box, not a case, you're going to miss out on the Legendary, you're going to miss out on the Fable. You're going to be sitting at more of an average around $67 if you only open one box. And then if you have a master set of this collection, which is one of each card in foil and in non-foil, you'd be sitting at $1,947. All right, let's take this $114.36 and see how we compared to last week. Last week we were at $115.43, so all in all, the market is down about 1%. And if you want to see like a whole, it's been pretty stable, honestly. It's been pretty stable. We started out high, and it's been pretty stable the last couple months. So, all right, let's look at the top 10 cards to gain or lose value. We'll just move through this pretty quickly. Tome of the Aether Wind is up 16%. Spark of Genius is up 14%. And Induction Chamber is up 12%. Those were all rainbow foil. Non-foil Forked Lightning is up 150%. Knock the Death Whistle is up 125%. And Sonic Boom is up 75%. Now keep in mind, those values are only $1 or $3 or $4, percentage upwise. Sorry, not percentage, monetarily upwise. And a lot of these super rares are moving this week. Again, I really believe this is because not as many people list super rares because they're not as valuable. It's not really worth shipping. It's not, blah, blah, blah. And so that when new players come in and they're looking for the cards, the prices go up more quickly than on the other cards. That's my working theory here. All right, so for the the losers then, Rusted Relic Super Rare Rainbow Foil down 30%, Become the Arcanite Rainbow Foil Super Rare down 22%, and Techlicore same thing, but a Majestic down 21%. And then the non-foil losers, Become the Arcanite, Red and Ledger, and Tome of the Aether Wind down 38%, 25%, and 11%. So we did have some super rares moving down as well. So just kind of an interesting market on the super rares, in my opinion. So let's move on over to the first edition cards. For those of you who are collectors, this is the stuff you're interested in. Sealed boxes, I'm putting them at $4,000 this week. They're not a ton of sales, but that being said, we had one at 4,000, and then 5 days ago, so last Tuesday. So is that even was that last week's thing? Let's see, the 11th. Yes, that was actually one of the ones last week, and we talked about this. It was $4,000, and so I want to say something. The last 4 sales, which covers 2 weeks, the last 4 sales are from the same 2 listers, the same 2 eBay people, which is really interesting to me. I don't know what to say about that or what to do about it. Their pictures are the same, the accounts are the same. They both have high ratings and stuff like that. So it'll be really interesting to see where these 2 auctions come in the next couple of days, as they end on the 26th. So next week, it'll be really interesting to see where these 2 auctions end. And I think that'll really give us a clear picture of the market as well. Whereas one of these is buy it now every time, and one of these is auction every time. It's just weird. I mean, it's weird that they're the same price. I mean, it's just a weird thing. I don't know what to say. But that's kind of where the market is. I think on on Facebook, from a reputable seller, somebody with patience, you could probably get close to the $4,000. You probably have to give about 10% off though, because you're going to be paying fees anyway. So I think on Facebook, it's probably more like the 3,700, 3,750 on Facebook. But trying to be consistent with where I get the data. That way you can at least know that it's consistent for the things like this that are really easy, that we have so much data for. Now for the other stuff where it's like one card sells in the market between on like a Rainbow Foil Majestic, you find it on Facebook 1 month and then 6 months later it might sell on eBay. So we kind of use everything, but we just use eBay basically for the sealed boxes. All right, let's talk about the Fable. This is what I'm talking about. It's like you can't just use eBay for the Fable, because the last Fable that sold, the last Eye of Ophidia that sold was 2,300 way back when. If you don't use Facebook, then you miss out on lots of sales for that. So the Eye of Ophidia, so I'm putting it at 2,200. Now this is sold. I'm going to share why this price is, because I haven't actually seen one sell. But right now we're in this kind of conundrum where buyers and sellers are not meeting each other again. This is what happens all the time, and then they finally meet and we have a new price. But I'm going to put it at 2,200, and here's why. It's been at 1,900 for almost a full month now. So I was really looking for a new price for this, and I did a little bit more digging this week, and I asked around to a couple people I know who are selling them, and it feels like sellers are sitting more in like the 25, 27, $2,600, $26,000 range, and that's accurate with eBay right now. The lowest one listed is 26,000. There's one on Facebook right now. I think that's a 9. I think it's like 28.5, something like that, which would kind of be in line. So that seems to be what sellers are asking. Now it seems that buyers are still looking at this kind of last big sale at 19,000, and that's still what they want. So I'm trying to meet in the middle at least and say neither is meeting. So here we are at like 22,000. That's just what I'm doing. I'm being honest with you and telling you how I'm valuing that out. It's kind of difficult. So I'm going to put 22,000. Keep in mind that all these cards, especially the Heart, when we talk about it tomorrow, I do have confirmed sales of the Heart in this last week. The Heart's been moving like crazy. But the Heart and the Eye, everything is kind of condition centered, and that really, really matters. So let's look at the Legendaries. Nothing on the Tekla Founder Heart. That price is the same as last week. And then Skullbone Cross Wrap selling for 1,500 on the good old eBay. Let me pop that over for you. Selling for 1,500 on eBay. Oh man, 130 point is just not rolling. That's the sold listing on eBay. It was supposed to be loaded by the time I got there. So that was on eBay, Skullbone Cross Wrap. There was another one that was slightly above it. The price point is definitely moving down on it though. Let me try this one. We'll get it to load one more time. And then we'll move on. We'll go on to the Grasp of the Arcane, which I found on Facebook. This one sold for $3,000 worldwide shipping. That's where that one is for the Grasp of the Arcane. And then Storm Striders and Arcanite Skullcap, Arcanite Skullcap, I really couldn't find this week. So that kind of bumps us up about 4%. Let's see if this cross wrap loaded. It's still not loading. Just take my word for it. It's sold for $1,500 on eBay. You can go look it up yourself if you want. That being said, your average legendary is sitting at $2,425. So we had a huge dip down last week, and now we're kind of seeing a slight increase. I'm not sure. I mean, this is kind of, we'll call it the Monarch dip there. And we'll see what happens now that there's a whole nother set on the marketplace. So we'll see what's going on. Speaking of things that are dipping, let's talk about cold foil commons. So we're down 18% this week. Let's look at where we were. We had moved up 53 and 45% 2 weeks in a row of huge gains. And then we just started seeing some reconciling of profits, some people taking profits slowly. And now we're down 18%. So Achilles Accelerator at 280, Bullseye's Bracers at 325, Vest of the First Fist at 250, Bracers of Belief at 280, Mage Master Boots at 425, Nolrin Hood at 300, and Nolrin Boots at 250. This was from eBay, TCG Player, Facebook, lots of stuff moving. I'll show you the Vest of the First Fist, I think is what I pulled up here. 250, and then the last kind of sold listing of it before then was 300 on eBay. So that's probably what the buyer saw. What they didn't see on the Vest of the First Fist, let's see, where are we? Vest of the First Fist is this 400 one that moved on TCG Player. So that's, I think, what happens is they don't kind of look at the whole market. Here's my thing. Man, these are getting cheap again, and that's bizarre. Like, if these dip down to like the 225 range, I'm buying. I would buy these all day at 225. I would sell other stuff in order to buy these. They're so. Anyway, I don't want to get into it too much, but the print run of these individually is so little that I don't know. 225. If they keep going down there, which some of the sold ones this week at 250 and 250. And even like the 300s or 280s, they're getting close to that range. And it's like, that's going to be where people really step in. So I don't know where the floor is. Losing 18% is pretty gross. And that being said, these ones didn't sell. The other ones are still the old prices. So it'll be interesting to watch these in the market. These were really hot a couple weeks ago, but maybe it's a flavor of the week type thing. And that's what was driving the prices up from this kind of 200 average. But man, I think if you start seeing these in the 200s, 240s again, they're going to get snapbot. It'll be interesting. It'll be an interesting world to see in a couple of days or a couple of weeks where those things go. So down 18% this week. Let's look at the Majestic Rainbow Foils. The only one really that I saw that sold was a Teklo Core at 305. That was an auction. And these are great. That gives us a market price on like a class specific Majestic Rainbow Foil at 305. It just kind of solidifies these other prices. I know some people always get angry at me and say, oh, there hasn't been one sold, the price of those should be $500-$800, whatever. Well, then go bid on the Teklo Core, and that, if that's the price of one, then it would be that way. So it's kind of I don't know. I don't always know what to do with them. I mean, to be fair, like a 3 of a kind, the last one that we've seen sold, I mean, it's been a long time. That price is old at $250. That was back in April at $250 that it sold. I'm not sure why it's not green, but the prices are old. So the green ones are the updated prices, and kind of what I would do if I was buying, I would kind of use the average of like the most recent sales to try to figure it out. It's just hard because these never move. There's only 500 of each of them or something like that in the whole world. They just don't move. They don't sell. So that being said, a Command and Conquer. This one was a private sale that 2 different people sent me, and I confirmed with both the buyer and seller at $1,500 for a Command and Conquer Rainbow Foil. All in all, your average Rainbow Foil Majestic then is sitting at $490.50, up 1%. Not a huge conversation piece. Your regular Majestics, your non-foil Majestics, you're down 4%. There's a decent amount moving. We had some big sales 2 weeks in a row of 3 of a kind at 85 and 80, and then one happened this week at 40. So, kind of take that for what it is. Maybe that seller just sold it low, but it is kind of in line with the other sales. A Red in the Ledger F48, a Sonic Boom again, that was kind of, we had it at 80 from a previous sale, and now Sonic Boom at 55. Really not the best time to be selling your cards with Monarch coming out. And then a Command and Conquer actually went up to 225. I believe that one was on TCG Player. No, I think that was on eBay. Anyway, Art of War at 170. So all in all, some of these got pushed down, which pushed the average down about 4%, but some of them were also up. So make sure you're looking at that. Your average is at $87 and just down a little bit. Not a huge thing. This is 4 weeks in a row though that we've been down or even on the Majestics, as again, people are taking gains in order to fund their Monarch purchases. The super rares then, as we move on to the end, only one big sale of a super rare, Become the Arknight, kind of recorrecting its price point. We had a terrible sale at $50 last week, at $130 on TCG Player. That kind of puts your average at about 105, which is up 5%. That was a weird sale last time at 50. We kind of mentioned that in the video, that $50 was probably way too low for that one. So kind of a correction piece on that. And then super rares, as we're moving in here, we'll see what those did. Down 11% for the first edition super rares, $17 for Induction Chamber, $12 for Endless Arrow, $11 for Knock the Death Whistle, down to $18 for Ninth Blade of the Blood Oath, and then the big one was Forked Lightning, down to $9 on eBay. So average sitting at $13.17, and that's an 11% loss. These have been kind of soft the last couple of weeks, down 7% and 8% after a couple of weeks of some gains, just 2 weeks of some gains. So, all right, moving on to the rare rainbow foils. Keep in mind, I just used TCG low on all the rare and common cards, so we're down 22 to 22.56. That's down 6%. We had an up week last week. The week before was a down week. 2 weeks before that was a huge up week. So kind of just the market correcting itself, down 6% with an average of $22.56. And then for the rares, I think your average is around $1 for the rares, $1.81, which is up for 1, 2, 3, 4. We've been up for these a lot. So first edition rares selling for about $1.81. I would guess that they are selling a little bit lower than that, as new players come in and whatever, but 6% up in terms of average sell price is probably about $1.75, I would guess. The common rainbow foils, these are first edition. Remember, just TCG low. The common rainbow foils are sitting at an average of $8.75. Really no movement from last week. Nothing really changed. So is what it is. And then the commons, sitting about 70 cents each. All right, let's go ahead and talk about the EV. So you know what's in the set. We already talked about that. If you open 40 boxes of Arcane Rising first off, congratulations. That's great. Your average value will be around $2,531. Now, that does include the non-foil commons. So if you take those out, your average box would be sitting around $2,321. So that's kind of where we are. And then if you just open one box, so you take out the Legendary, take out the Fable Chance, you'd be sitting at $1,165. Then if you have a master set, which is one of each card in each version, cold foil, rainbow foil, you'd be sitting at $113,053. And so let's compare this one that we track, which is the 40 box average minus the common. So that's 23.21.86, 23.21.86, 23.21.86. Let's see where we are from last week. Looks like we'll be just about even. Really no change. I guess it's I guess it's technically up about $10. We're technically up for this one, but no huge changes there. Let's look at the top 10 cards to gain or lose value. So the number one card to gain in foil was that Become the Arknight that we had a weird sale last week. This week correcting itself to $130. That's a change of 160%. Grasp the Arknight cold foil gained 50% from a low last week of 2,000 up to 3,000 this week. And Command and Conquer, that rainbow foil, moving from 1,250 to 1,500 for a 20% increase. Then the non-foil gainers, Command and Conquer, moving up 13%, Art of War moving up 9%, and then first edition boxes moving up 2%. And if you look at the losing cards, Null Rune Boots, a lot of cold foil comments on the list. No Rune Boots losing 45%. Bracers of Belief losing 37%. Teklo Core, the Rainbow Foil, going from 490 to 305, losing 37%. And Vest of the First Fist losing 37% as well. The non-foil losers, 3 of a Kind losing 50%, Endless Arrow losing 45%, and Sonic Boom losing 31%. So that's it. Hope you enjoy the Arcane Rising market update. Just a reminder, if you're looking for a collection tracker, go ahead and go to KitchenTableTCG.com, where you can gain access to a collection tracker that you can track your collection using all these prices. It's got all the sets. I do this every day. We'll do WTR tomorrow. We did Crucible War yesterday, and on Mondays we do Monarch. So make sure you go back and watch those videos if you haven't. And you guys have yourself a good day. If you really want to support the channel, don't forget to go shop at Midtown Merchant or use my TCG affiliate link that's in my description. Thank you guys so much for watching this stuff, and hope you have yourself a good day. Remember to be kind to the people around you.